Hi everyone. I've been asked if I would just give you a little talk really about me and my personal faith journey through my life. So I went to church schools when I was younger, and I remember doing things like nativity plays, and I had some really good teachers in particularly my secondary school, where I had a lovely nun that taught us, a lovely lady called Sister Georgina. She ended up going off to do work in Africa. She was really influential in me. She was so kind and nice, and she could do everything. She could do anything for anybody. She was one of the loveliest people I've ever met in my life. And I used to go to church most weeks, not every week, most weeks. And we'd be asked in school if we'd been to church on Sunday. And we'd have, yes, sir, I've been to church. And sometimes we were even asked, well, what was the talk about on Sunday? And I did my first Holy Communion. I was confirmed when I was at school. But my faith, it was really about going to church. It wasn't really about my faith. Wouldn't say that my faith was really alive in me. And then later on in life, I got really busy. We had Lydia, and I was doing lots of things. And I would go to church occasionally. So instead of going every week like I did up until the time really Bridget and I got married, I was really going to church most weeks. But then later, when I got really busy, I didn't go to church every week, and I had friends who were Christian, but I didn't really have lots of people surrounding me. And then as I got a bit older, I just kind of started to think, is this it? Is this all there is? I never stopped throughout my life ever believing. I never ever stopped believing in God, and I never ever stopped believing in Jesus and the resurrection. I always believed that. I always knew, and I know now in my heart how that is fundamental to what we are and how we are here today. But I was going through something, and it's like, yeah, is that it? And then we moved here. We moved here in the year 2010, and I just quite recently changed jobs, and we got to live in this beautiful place. Here I am surrounded by countryside, the most beautiful countryside. I know somebody who calls this God's country. That might be other places in Britain that are also called that, but this is a beautiful place to live, and it's a fantastic community. But I gradually got to know people. I got to know Tony and Libby, and then Bridget got invited to Friday morning group by, I think it was Linda, and anyway, one day we just went to church. And yeah, okay, I'll go. And suddenly, what I was hearing and what people were talking about was so relevant to me, and I really felt that they were talking to me. And it was the likes of Jan and David. And the others who were talking, Christopher and Julian, Jeremy, they started to have a real impact on me. And then I joined my men's group, and then my faith was then really important to me. It became a fundamental part of me. I started talking to people about it, which I'd never really kind of done before. I'd always been willing and happy to admit that I was a Christian and tell people I was a Christian without any lack of confidence. But I never really felt faith was a central part of my life. But I do now. And coming to Bentley and BenBinFro has changed all of that. I'm surrounded by people who are like-minded. My men's group, which is my home group, has been amazing for me. And I love every single one of my men's group deeply, and we've learned so much together. And of course I was ill, and when I was suffering my cancer and my cancer treatment, I had some prayer ministry which really made me realise that God was right there with me. He was there next to me, and he had his arms around me, supporting me throughout my treatment. And I think that's when my faith really came on fire within me. And now I feel faith is so much in me. It's there, it's burning deep inside me. And I want to talk to people about it. I want to live my life sharing my faith and doing things with my faith and supporting Jan and Christopher and Sam and Gemma in things that we do. And that's why I agreed to share that with you. So for me, I've always believed in God. I've always believed in Jesus. But now, when I've come to a community where everybody seems to be like-minded and seems to be part of me, I just feel now that I belong, and I really feel part of God's family.